How I save more than 70% on heating the greenhouse in the winter and spring. Hello, welcome to 77's Garden, where we talk about gardening, ways to save money, and other special events. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notified of all upcoming videos. Did you know that heating a greenhouse can account for up to 30% of a farmer's total expense? As a farmer, you know how important it is to keep your greenhouse warm and thriving during the cold winter and spring months. But what you may not know is that heating a greenhouse can account for up to 30% of your total expense. That's a significant amount that can eat into your profits and sustainability. But don't worry, there is a way to save money on up to 70% on heating your greenhouse during this season. In this video, I'll share with you practical and cost-effective methods that will not only help you save money but also reduce your carbon footprint and create a healthier, more sustainable environment for your plants. So grab a pen and paper because you are going to be learn some great game-changing tips and tricks to save on heating your greenhouse. So today I'm going to talk to you about how you can save money heating your greenhouse, save as much as 70% heating your greenhouse in the winter and in the spring. So the first thing you want to think about is the location of the greenhouse. So whenever you have a greenhouse, whenever you want to make sure that it's as clear from any trees or houses and other stuff as possible, so that it gets direct sunlight, it gets full sunlight. The second thing you want to think about is the insulation of the greenhouse. The size of the greenhouse matters, and the insulation of the greenhouse. So you want to make sure that the greenhouse is completely sealed as much as possible, so that way it doesn't let in any cold air into the greenhouse. So you want to make sure that the greenhouse is completely sealed. The third thing you want to do is, if you can provide double insulation, you do provide double insulation. Double insulation is going to further provide much better insulation and much better protection from the outdoor temperatures. But if you cannot insulate the whole greenhouse, if you can insulate a shelf like this. So what I've done here, as you can see, is my greenhouse shelf right here. I have a video that shows you how you make a greenhouse shelf, adjustable greenhouse shelf like this. I'll see if I can put that link in the description below. But my greenhouse shelf is ready. I have my seedlings and some tropical plants in there. So what I've done is provide additional double insulation. So this shelf is further protected from the temperature in the greenhouse, which provided an additional 5 or 10 degrees temperature insulation, and that helps the plants in there continue to thrive even when the greenhouse itself might be a little bit cold. Another way to reduce the cost is to make sure that you get as much mass as possible in the greenhouse. So mass can be the soil potting mix, or it can be water. So what I've done is I have about 6, you can see this is 1, 2, 3, there's one behind it. I have about 6 to 7 50-gallon barrels of water. This is you have another 3, 4 over here. So I have about I'll say close to 400 gallons of water in the greenhouse, and that 400 gallons of water absorb the temperature during the day. When the greenhouse warms up during the day, usually it warms up pretty much above 60s during the day. That absorbs some of the heat and slowly release that heat at night, thereby reducing the cost of heating the greenhouse. So if you have as much mass as possible, if you can put it facing the south wall, that's fine. But as long as it's in the greenhouse and it's absorbing that heat during the day, it's gonna help you reduce the amount of heat that you're gonna heat your greenhouse. So get as much mass as possible. If you don't have 50-gallon containers, you can use 5-gallon containers. So over here I have about 6 to 8 5-gallon containers filled with water, and up here also I have a few gallons of water at the top of the insulated shelf, I have another, I'll say about another 10 or 15 gallons of water in there that absorb that heat and slowly release that heat into the shelf itself. That helps me reduce the cost of heating the greenhouse, so I don't have to spend as much money. Also, one other thing that you want to do is, instead of using, you can use electricity to heat your greenhouse. I have been doing that the past couple of years, and yes, you can do that, but it's very expensive. I have my heater here, but that's not what I'm using right now to heat my greenhouse. What I'm using to heat the greenhouse is this propane heater right here. So the propane heater, propane is much cheaper than electricity. So with a propane heater, I can heat the greenhouse with a tank like this, depending on the setting and depending on how long you put it. But if you have it on the full high, it can go for like say maybe 48 hours. If you have it on low, it can go for 2 days or 3 days. So, but usually I don't use it completely 24 hours a day or 12 hours straight. I mostly use it a couple of hours a day just to bring the temperature of the greenhouse to normal. Usually I try to set it up where when it starts getting cold, maybe if the temperature is gonna drop at night below 30 degrees, the greenhouse is gonna be about 42, 45. So I put it on for a couple of hours at night just to provide that temperature. So, and remember, with the insulation that you have and with all the rain barrels that you have, most often I don't heat the greenhouse during the day. I heat the greenhouse at night. During the day, the temperature is really nice and warm in here. So usually when there's less clouds and there's bright sunlight, the greenhouse is fine during the day. So I don't think I've ever heated the greenhouse during the day. Most of the heat that I use for the greenhouse is at night because the temperature drops and the heat from the water and all the mass that I have in here slowly reduces. So by 11-12 p.m. at night, by 11 p.m. at night, then the temperature starts dropping. Then that's when you want to make sure that you have at least heat to maintain it up. So I have containers that I'm growing different things in here, and I'm starting my seeds in this shelf right here. If I lift it up, I can show you. You can see some of the seedlings that are coming out. So the main thing is having that insulation and having the mass over here helps maintain that temperature. So I only heat the greenhouse minimally, maybe 3-4 hours. In worse temperatures, when it gets to like 20 degrees and below, then I leave it the whole night from like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. to about 7 or 8 a.m. But most often I usually put it 4 or 5 hours, maybe 11 o'clock at night, and by 8 o'clock in the morning I turn it off, and I'm able to use one tank for about a week, depending on the temperatures. But this is how you save money on heating the greenhouse. You don't want to spend a lot of money heating the greenhouse, then it's not cost effective. So that's another way of reducing your cost, is getting a heater like this, a propane heater. I'll see if I can put the link to this propane heater in the description. It is very good and very economical to have in the greenhouse and to grow in the greenhouse. So even with the propane heater like this, I like to have a backup, and that's why I have my small heater right here in this grow shelf where I have any temperature sensitive plants. So if for some reason the propane runs out at night, this one I set my temperature in here to 45 degrees for this electric heater. I set the temperature to 45 degrees. So for some reason the propane runs out empty at night and the temperature is very low, it's gonna the heater in here is gonna maintain the temperature in this little shelf over here where all my plants are. It's gonna maintain the temperature above freezing level, which is gonna save me time from heating, one, the whole greenhouse, and two, be able to make sure that the plants survive that night, so that way the next morning I can get a new propane tank or replace the propane tank. So definitely the good way to do is to have a backup for your heating system like this. Another thing you can do is you can look at how you can get, if you're using propane like that. Usually propane refills is about $19-20, but some places are much cheaper. So if you go to, if you have a BJ's membership, BJ's has a refill in my area for like $15, which is much $4 less than other places. So check other areas in other locations in your area, see where you can refill the propane for a cheaper, much cheaper price. One other thing I want to talk about the propane tank is a little bit of downside is that you just with the propane tank is that you don't want to make sure that you're in the greenhouse or you're working in the greenhouse when you turn it on, because of the fumes and the stuff like that. You just want to try to avoid it. So that's why I usually turn it on. I usually turn it on at night, but I'm never in here at night, so that's fine. I just come then in the morning I just come and open it up, turn it off, then give it about 10-15 minutes for the air to circulate a little bit more before I come in here and start working in here or doing anything. So that's one thing to be careful about when you're using the propane. Don't turn the propane on and you're in there working. But most often during the day, I don't need the propane, I don't need the heat, because the greenhouse itself is warm. It's warm during the day, so I don't need it. So usually the temperature fluctuations in a greenhouse like this, or if the temperature outside is about, let's say 40 degrees, the greenhouse is usually about 60 degrees. And especially with this mass that I have in here in terms of the water and all the soil and the potting mix that I have in here, that helps maintain a little bit of temperature, and that way I am not getting too much fluctuation or fast fluctuation in the temperature, because the heat from that's accumulated in the mass slowly releases that temperature and slowly maintains the temperature in the greenhouse. The last but not the least is use better plastic. If you're using plastic to cover the greenhouse, you want to get good quality plastic like the 6 mil plastic or higher for the greenhouse or for the shelf. That helps holds in a little bit of the temperature and it helps maintain the temperature in the greenhouse. So get better plastic. I'll see if I can put the link to better plastic, 6 mil plastic in the description below. This is what I've changed from the ones that you saw at the beginning of the video. I changed it, and I've seen a lot of difference in terms of holding the temperature in the shelves and maintaining the temperature. So use better plastics. Okay, that is it for today. I hope you liked the video. If you find this video informative and important, please smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel out. And also share the video. If you like the video, somebody else might see the video and might like the video, share the video. Thanks for watching. Happy growing, everybody.